Well, here in San Diego, environmental advocates say the city's plan to offset climate change has hit a roadblock.
That's according to a new report released today by the Climate Action Campaign. San Diego 6's Amanda Shotsky joining us live to tell us the details of this report. Amanda.
Yeah, I have it right here. This 13-page report takes a side-by-side look at two things: the city's long-term goals to offset climate change and the San Diego Association of Governments' proposal to improve public transportation, with advocates saying that the latter makes those climate change goals mathematically impossible. As the sun beats down on San Diego, concerns over climate change are heating up.
I think we're all experiencing it, and it's only going to accelerate and get more intense and more frequent, these heat waves.
To offset those changes, the city has proposed an ambitious climate action plan, a goal to reduce greenhouse emissions by enhancing public transportation. But environmental advocates say there's a significant roadblock.
Setting ourselves up for failure before the plan even passes is impossible to imagine.
On Wednesday, the nonprofit Circulate San Diego and the Climate Action Campaign released a new report showing that the transportation upgrades proposed by the San Diego Association of Governments, or SANDAG, are simply not enough.
It will be mathematically impossible for the city of San Diego to reach its climate goals if the regional transportation plan that is proposed by SANDAG passes.
The city's plan predicts 50% of people living near transit will commute by either biking, walking, or taking trolleys and buses by 2035. While SANDAG's plan says only 15% of people will be using those alternate modes of transportation by then.
They've decided that they don't feel the need to help the city meet its climate goals. That's a problem.
The report urges local leaders to insist SANDAG improve plans by dedicating more funding for upgrading trolley lines, enclosed bike paths, and safer sidewalks.
This is not about getting people out of their cars. It's not about prohibiting people from driving, but instead it's about giving people real choices that they don't currently have.
These findings released on the same day that Pope Francis addressed the issue of climate change. During his speech at the White House, he called it a problem that could no longer be left to a future generation.
The science is pretty clear, and there really isn't controversy about whether climate change is happening. The controversy is about how much we're going to do to protect our quality of life for the future.
And we did reach out to SANDAG. We just received this statement: the regional plan will actually contribute to the city of San Diego's effort to cut greenhouse gas emissions. It lays out a specific plan to invest $100 billion into the transit system to create transportation choices and cut greenhouse gas emissions. And SANDAG is expected to vote on its long-range plan on October 9th, and the City Council expected to approve San Diego's climate plan in December. In the studio, I'm Amanda Shotsky, San Diego 6 News.
A war of words is building as local lawmakers come up with a regional transportation plan for the next 20 years. Environmental groups include the Climate Action Campaign. They held a news conference today to urge changes to the plan. So they crunched numbers from the San Diego Association of Governments and found that SANDAG projects that only 15% of county residents will be biking, walking, or taking public transit to work by the year 2035. The city of San Diego has set a goal of 50%.
The report found that it's mathematically impossible for the city of San Diego to meet its climate transportation goals with the regional transportation plan that SANDAG is proposing.
SANDAG issued a statement defending its plan. It reads in part, quote, "The regional plan is built on the reality of available funding and the reasonably predictable circumstances ahead of us. The city's climate action plan aims to take things a step further and set goals for our future that are not limited by fiscal constraints." The city is expected to vote on the plan in December.
New questions from environmentalists on San Diego's climate action plan. The bottom line: how many people San Diego hopes to have walking, biking, or taking transit to work? The city's proposed climate action plan says half of city residents will get to work without a car by 2035. SANDAG is planning a transportation system where only 15% do that. Climate Action Campaign says it needs to plan for bigger changes.
We have to kind of fundamentally repurpose our streets so that they are safe for people to bike, walk, and take public transit, which means that SANDAG needs to invest more in resources in building the infrastructure to make those alternative transportation modes successful.
Sandag says the planning agency is spending nearly half its coming improvements on public transit. The group says planners want to spend more, but they don't have the money.
Transit and environmental activists are speaking out against a $204 billion regional transportation plan, saying it doesn't do enough to get commuters out of their cars.
We need Sandag and we need our elected officials to think bigger and to make real serious investments in transit and active transportation.
The San Diego Association of Governments plan spells out transportation projects that will be funded through 2050. Leaders from Circulate San Diego and Climate Action Campaign say it will only get about 15% of commuters off the roads. That is far below the city's Climate Action Plan goal of having 50% of commuters go to work via public transportation, bicycles, or walking. Sandag responded with a statement saying the regional plan will contribute to efforts to cut greenhouse gas emissions and create transportation choices.